Good morning from Big Bend National Park. Here's a look at the Rio Grande. Wait a minute. Good morning from Ohiopyle State Park, southwestern Pennsylvania, Fayette County, and I am back to my roots. So right now I'm on the Great Allegheny Passage bike trail. I started from Ohiopyle, the train station area pretty much, and I'm walking east. And my goal today is to summit point 2920 and Sugarloaf Knob. 2920 is going to be off trail, and then Sugarloaf Knob will be on trail, at least most of it. I'm actually doing something that I've attempted one time already. My youngest brother and sister and I came out here one time. We rode our bikes to the base of point 2920. I think it was around 2010 or so. And we hiked and climbed up pretty far. Got to kind of a shelf. And actually, I think we were pretty close to the top. But we ended up turning around right there and coming back because we weren't sure exactly where we were going. So point 2920 is the high point up there, the furthest one in the back. Right now I'm at 1378, that's my elevation now. So it's going to be about a 1,500 foot elevation gain up to the summit there. Little stream come down the mountain here. So I know I have to cross one creek up here, and then I'll head off trail after that. So the Great Allegheny Passage bike trail actually runs from Pittsburgh to Cumberland, Maryland. It follows an old railway following the rivers. And then it connects with the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal towpath, which goes all the way to Washington, D.C. from Cumberland. It was 2008. My dad and I biked from Connellsville, Pennsylvania, which is a little further down the river from Ohiopyle, to Washington, D.C. Took a day off down there and then biked back. And we did 3 days down and 3 days back. It was 540 miles round trip. Yeah, it was an awesome trip. We had an amazing time. My biking days are definitely long gone. Well, here's a little drainage right here. I'm gonna start heading up now. Well, I just cut through some thicker vegetation, but now it looks like it's gonna clear out a little bit. Yeah, this is where the real fun's at. This is already so much better. Less vegetation, more climbing. So I came up from down there, and this road right here is on the map. This is called Gas Well Road. There is actually a natural gas well, I think down there somewhere. When my brother and sister and I attempted this, we did come across it. So I came up from there, which was really nice. No vegetation at all. So it's nice in these thicker sections of forest, the older sections. There's very little undergrowth, at least now. It's October. I'm sure it'd be a little worse in early spring and through the first part of summer. This is a much younger forest here. You can see by the almost overabundance of smaller trees versus the slopes lower. The trees were actually further apart but much bigger. And you just didn't have so much undergrowth. And there's a little, but not anything like this. But it was also steeper over there too, so that may have been a factor. But the forest is coming back. So what I've heard, and from pictures that I've seen, is that pretty much this entire area was deforested at one time, especially around the first half of the 1900s. But gradually as people needed wood less and less for fuel and cooking and whatnot, the forests have definitely returned. Pretty neat to see it come back. There are some patches, I know here and in West Virginia, of old growth forests trees that were never cut down. But yeah, for the most part, this entire area was, you know, pretty much barren at one time, which in some ways would be cool to see, but at the same time, it's like, man, that's totally different from what it's supposed to be. But there are some pictures of huge, I think they're chestnut trees or something that were growing on the mountains here at one time. They're massive. Yeah, now I'm in a section of pine. It's pretty neat. I'm not sure if these are native or not. I think they are, but possibly not. Okay, I may be on the summit of point 2920. My GPS actually says 2936. I know there is an old, there's an old fire tower, the remains of an old fire tower up here somewhere. I don't know how easy it is to find. I know there's supposed to be a road up here too. I may be further north than that. I'm gonna walk a little further north anyway, just to make sure. This is even higher right here. It's 2946. This probably is the high point. So maybe it's a little bit higher than what they have marked. I mean, obviously my GPS could be off a little bit too. Okay, never mind. This is the actual high point. So I'm further south than I was. I took Fire Tower Road back a little bit, then I went back west to this point right here, which should be the highest point. So I'm at 2963 according to my GPS now. And I'm gonna keep going back this way just to see if I can find the fire tower, which is south. I have to go that way anyway. GPS now says 2966. So this is most likely up here, the high point. I had to do a little bit of climbing to get up here. I used the tree a little bit right there and that rock. These rocks are actually really cool. Nice little formation up here. And I better be a little more careful too, because I'm kind of standing right on the edge of a 10 to 15 foot drop over here. This is southwestern Pennsylvania. I mean, what do you expect? But man, these are cool rocks up here. Pretty neat. Maybe I'll find the fire tower, maybe not, but I don't think it's any big deal if I don't. This is most likely the true high point up here. Snaking my way through the rocks here. Uh-oh. Little obstacle. Alright, cool. And I think right here is the McCune Trail, actually. Pretty sure this is it. So yeah, let me just take this back to the road and then we'll figure out our next step from there. Okay, back on the road now. This will head back down to Ohiopyle. Sugarloaf Knob is going to be down a little ways and then off to the left. Well, over there is point 2920 or whatever it is. And I made it up to Sugarloaf Knob here. So the elevation I have on my GPS is 2664. So somewhere around 2650, let's say. All right, well, not much up here, no views, not much anyway. The off trail was a little rough, but no big deal. I'm gonna keep going. There's a little trail up here. I'll take this for a little bit this way and then just head off trail down the slope where I see fit. Get back to the road and get over to the Bowman Overlook and then get back. All right, well, I made it to the Bowman Overlook. Elevation here is less than 2,000 and there's looking at point 2920 or whatever it is at the true high point up there. So yeah, it was fun. So I took the trail out to the base and then just off trailed it up the slopes somewhere up there and eventually found my way to the summit. And then I worked my way back along the trail up there over to the road, and then Sugarloaf Knob is not visible now, but it was over in this direction. And then got back down to the road and took the road down to here. Just a little trail from the road right there up to here. So the Bowman Trail is right down there. I'm gonna take that back, and I think it said it's 1.8 miles back to where I started from. I'm already 10.3 miles into this. I had no idea this was gonna be this long of a round trip. It's gonna be over 12 miles. These are some massive trees in here now. Tall. That thing's well over 100 feet. Well, if anybody from around here stumbles upon this video, thanks for watching. If you are curious about Big Bend National Park or a lot of different points further west, feel free to check out any of those videos that I have. For those of you in Texas who've been, and other places further west who've been watching my videos for a long time, I really appreciate it. Thanks for all your comments and your support. It's interesting coming back here and kind of reaffirming in my mind that, yeah, I will never move back to this area for sure. There's no question about that. My heart's further west, and it's definitely further west than Austin, Texas. Thanks again from Ohiopyle State Park in southwestern Pennsylvania. And now I better hurry up and get back. I better not miss my brother's wedding. Time to go. Always in a rush.